Hey, y'all. This is a different episode. I'm going to need you to do something right now. Get your lighter ready early, real early, because this is an interesting one. But on to the intro. What's up, y'all? This is another episode of Notable Prisons and the Inmates that Occupy them. And what we're going to do today, we are going to look at some of the people who have had some of the longest sentences in the history of being prisoned in modern years. There are some people with some crazy long life sentences and some crazy long, just straight sentences with a big old number before the word years. Now, foremost, we're going to start off with Terry Nichols. His sentence started in 1995. He was convicted of 161 counts of first-degree murder, first-degree arson, and a conspiracy by the State Court of Oklahoma for his part in the Oklahoma City bombings of April 19th, 1995. Also sentenced in federal court for terrorism and 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter. It is a record for the most consecutive life sentences ever given to a single individual due to such a large number of life sentences, adding no parole possibility. It can be also declared as the largest officially confirmed sentence ever handed in the world. And he was sentenced to 161 life sentences without parole. I wonder where he's at right now. Oh, I could tell you. There's a damn good chance he's at 80X Florence. There's a high good chance. I think he's at 80X. Anyone remember that when that happened? Let me know in the comments. Next, we have Patrick Wood Cruz. His sentence started in 2023, and he was a mass murderer responsible for killing 23 people and injuring 23 others in the 2019 El Paso shooting on August 3rd, 2019. He received 90 life sentences without possibility of parole. Next, we have Michael J Delin. His sentence started in 2007. Convicted of multiple counts of kidnapping of kids in 2002 through 2007. He was an armed criminal action, forcible sodomy, child videos that no person should ever have, transporting minors across state lines to engage in illicit activities, attempted murder, and attempted forcible sodomy. They sentenced him to 74 life sentences. But get this, he got 2,020 years on top of that. So technically, he may have more time than Terry Nichols. Someone do the math. Let me know something. Next, we have Abdullah Bardi. He was sentenced in 2004. And he was the commander of Hamas and Al-Qassam brigades and one of its chief bomb makers. Since for the death of 66 Israelis, he is held in solitary confinement and denied visits. Also, the longest officially confirmed sentence ever handed down outside of the U.S. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, they locked him away. Yeah, he's probably at Guantanamo Bay or something, man. He's out of here. He's definitely out of here. And he received 67 life sentences plus 5,200 years without parole. He got arrested in 2004. So for the past 20 years, he's been sitting in a bathroom, not being able to talk to no one. Yo, I bet this dude is probably lost his mind. I mean, he was already crazy, but he's probably like, man, let me try to chew my way out of the concrete walls crazy or something. Gary Ridgeway, serial killer known as the Green River Killer, who confessed to having murdered 71 women between 1982 and 1998. They gave him 49 life sentences, 48 of them without parole, plus 480 years. Yeah, he messed up. He should have made better decisions in life is what he should have did. Lloyd Cackwin. He is a surviving perpetrator of the 1991 Good Guy siege, convicted of 3 murders 11 attempted murders, and 35 counts of kidnapping. And they chipped him off. 49 life sentences without parole. I think, because realistically, they could just send someone, or you get 100 years. Bet. Just they could do that and just make it simple. But I think when they throw these crazy numbers at you, they're like now it's like a mind game. Now, not only do you know you're not getting out, but you know there is not a snowball chance in hell of getting out. Like, no, man. See, and this is why I like this channel, because I want people to understand that you do dumb stuff, you gonna get crazy time. Like, this channel is for, keeping people on the right track. Now, I'm not out there to hold everyone's hand, but damn it, man, listen to some of these sentences. I'm sure these dudes on all these lists wish they could be at home listening to a YouTube video, preferably one on the notable prisons and inmates page. James Kevin Pope. He received 40 convictions of assault for abusing 3 teenage girls, and he got 40 life sentences plus 60 years. Next, Barry Walker. His sentence started in 2022. He was a serial R-word and former physician who practiced medicine in Arkansas. When I was younger, I used to pronounce Arkansas. But anyways, he pled guilty and received the maximum sentence for R-wording at least 31 different kids, ranging from as early as 97 until as late as 2022. And he got 39 life sentences plus 1,710 years without parole with his scummy ass. Next, we have Billy Joe Godfrey. Charged with 35 counts of statutory sodomy in the first degree, garnering 35 consecutive life sentences, which is equivalent to 1,050 years in prison. Godfrey pled guilty to S-word abusing 2 children between 1995 and 1999. The children were between the ages of 8 and 13. Hope y'all light up. They cooked his ass. Next, we have Martin Bryant, a mass murderer who pled guilty to murdering 35 people and injuring 23 others in the Port Arthur massacre, a shooting spree in Port Arthur, Tasmania, Australia. On April 28, 1996, he was sentenced to the maximum penalty of life imprisonment for each murder, an additional 1,652 years for wounding 23 people, shooting at 14 other people with the intention to kill, 4 counts of theft of a motor vehicle, 3 counts of arson, and 1 kidnapping. 4/28/1996. This makes me think of, I remember back in 1996, I was about 8 years old, and my dad got sentenced to 20 years on, he didn't get sentenced on April 20th, but he got arrested on April 20th, 1996, and he did 20 years, and he got out in 2016. Shout out to Pops. Also on this list, I know you thought I might have forgot him, but no, we did not. Nikolas Scummy Cruz. He was the perpetrator of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. He pled guilty to killing 17 people and injuring 17 others. And he got 34 life sentences, 17 without parole, plus a minimum of 380 years, y'all. Yeah, they torched him. I guess he woke up that morning and just wanted to get torched, because, that's crazy. Now, this is probably the biggest sentence ever given out, straight years, hands down, the biggest number that's ever been given to someone. But there's a twist of things that happened. So anyways, Chamoy Thipiaso from Thailand in 1989, he got the world's largest sentence for corporate fraud, according to Guinness World Records in 2006. Also, the longest non-life officially confirmed sentence ever handed in the world She defrauded more than 16,000 Thai people in a pyramid scheme worth $204 million at the time. However, the Thai law of the time specified that those convicted of fraud could not serve more than 20 years in prison, and her mandatory release was 2009. She was paroled after only 8 years. Man, that's crazy. Shout out to her. I know Madoff probably wishes he was out there. Next, we have Charles Scott Robinson. Longest jail term in a single American on multiple counts. Also the longest sentence ever handed in the United States. Robinson was sentenced to 5,000 years for each of the 6 accounts against him for R-wording a 3-year-old girl in Oklahoma. See, shout out Oklahoma. Oklahoma knows how to handle those type of people. I can see. You know, they get your lighters ready. They torched him. Next, we have Allan Wayne McLaurin. He was the accomplice of Darren Anderson. Upon appeal, his sentence was reduced to 500 years. But he was initially sentenced to 20,750 years, but then it dropped down to 500. Next, we have Pitkit Thakoon, convicted of 2,653 counts of fraud. He admitted running a Ponzi scheme whereby he promised investors artificially high financial returns. About 40,000 people were persuaded to pour more than $160 million into his companies. Prosecutors told the court that Pitkit organized seminars where attendees were encouraged to invest in what he said were business links to property development, beauty, used cars, and exports, among other things. They recommended 5 years for each count and additional 10 years, totaling 13,275 years. Due to his confession, his sentence was halved to 6,637 years and 6 months. Under Thailand law, though, a convicted fraudster can serve above 20 years, so he'll get out in 2037. Yo, Thailand got some real-life scammers down there, man. You know, even though scammers do bad things, scammers are extremely smart. Like putting these type of plays together and making bread like that is not easy. Like, even if you tried to do it tomorrow, I'm guarantee you probably couldn't do it. Like, this takes brains and wits, you know? So shout out to them for being smart. But I guess not that smart because they got caught. But Darren Anderson, he was the greatest amount of jail time given as a result of an appeal. Found guilty of crimes ranging from the R word of an elderly woman in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to larceny, robbery, and kidnapping, and sentenced to 2,250 years. He appealed and was reconvicted, resentenced, and received an additional jail term of 9,500 years. But they later reduced it down to 500 years. And he got sentenced to 11,250 years at first, but now he's only doing 500 years. Yeah, you would have to be Yoda to outlive that. Frank Faith Ozer, cryptocurrency trader convicted of fraud and owner of Thodex in Turkey. Then they chipped him off with 11,196 years. See, Turkey ain't that nice. They ain't finna cut that shit down to 20. Dude's about to sit there for those long, lonely 11,196 years. By the time 11,196 years come around, I don't know. I mean, none of us would be here, sadly. That'd be kind of cool, though, to be alive that long. Just like, you know, just be like super old, like a damn, I don't know. Like, like the people in Dr. Stone. Yeah, like Senku and all them. They old as hell. Next, Adon Aatar, nation's longest sentence for fraud and S-word abuse commitment, according to TRT, originally sentenced to 1,075 years on November 17th, 2022. He was retrialed and sentenced to 8,658 years. Next, Ricardo Vasquez Hernandez, perpetrator of 2013 triple homicide outside of a nightclub in Dallas where he shot 3 people point blank. yeah, Texas ain't finna play with you either. They gave him 7,000 years. Next, we have Fichi Ishii Uvu Kanzi. And he was the perpetrator of the 2012 shooting outside a Southwest Houston nightclub that left 3 people dead and 2 others injured, including rapper Trey the Truth. Man, shout out Trey the Truth. And he received 7,000 years. Next, we have Carlo Antonio Correas Lopez. He was a former soldier, and they were sentenced for their roles in the 1982 Dos Aires massacre in Guatemala. And he was sentenced to 6,060 years. Next, we have Woodro Hendriks, pair of brothers given 5,005 years, each in Dallas, Texas, for the kidnapping of Amanda Delin, the daughter-in-law of Joe Delin, the then president of the Dallas News. The brothers had kept Delin in an abandoned duplex for 60 hours, released her after her family paid a ransom of $250,000. The brothers were arrested, and the money recovered just 4 hours after her release. Woodro Hendriks was released on parole in 1999, and Franklin Hendriks died in prison in 2008. And there you go. Those are the longest sentences of anyone. And also, honorable mention, Bernie Madoff was the biggest fraudster up out of New York. His Ponzi scheme was huge, and he received 105 years, but he later died in prison. Also, I always thought that was crazy because his son told on him. If his son would have never told on him, Bernie would have made off with the money. You dig? That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Probably not. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment. More episodes coming soon. Appreciate it.